Good morning, children. Today we are going to start the next method of finding solutions of linear equation, pair of linear equation in two variables. Earlier we have read about graphical method of finding solution. Now we'll do algebraic method of finding solution. So we'll have three methods. We'll study about three methods of finding solutions of pair of linear equation in two variables. First method is substitution, second elimination, and third is cross multiplication. So let us discuss the first method, that is substitution method. So I'm taking case 1 as, let these are the pair of equations, x plus y equal to 14 and x minus y equal to 4. So the first step is to, from out of these two equations, choose any one equation and write down any one variable in terms of other variable. So I'm choosing second equation. So I'm writing x in terms of y. So x is equal to, when y will be transposed to right side, it becomes x equal to y plus 4. So from any of the two equations, choose any one equation and find out one variable in terms of other variable. So here from second equation I have found x in terms of, I have written x in terms of y. Now mark it equation 3. Now put this value of x from equation 3 in equation 1, because from this equation we have taken x in terms of y, so we are not going to put value of x here in second equation. Take out x in terms of y from equation 2 and put that value of x in equation 1. So substitute value of x from equation 3 in equation 1. When you put x equal to y plus 4 here, it becomes y plus 4 plus y equal to 14. Y plus y is 2y and 4 will be transposed to right side. It becomes 2y equal to 10. So y is 5. Now put this value of y5 in equation 3. So when we put y5 here, we get x equal to 9. So x equal to 9 and y equal to 5 are the solution of this equation. Now second case is, if I take the equation x plus y equal to 7 and 2x plus 2y equal to 14. First mark it equation 1 and equation 2. Again the same procedure will be followed. Now I'm choosing equation 1 and I'm taking x in terms of y. From here this y will be transposed to right side. I get x in terms of y. Now put this value of x from equation and mark this equation as 3. Now put this value of x from equation 3 in 2, because from first equation I have taken x in terms of y. So I'll put this value of x in equation 2. So when I put this value of x in equation 2, I get 2 into 7 minus y plus 2y equal to 14, and on opening the bracket I get 14 minus 2y plus 2y equal to 14. So you can see these two variables are cancelled, they are same. So we get 14 equal to 14. No variable is left here now. So this is a true statement. Left hand and right hand side are equal. It means for any value of x and y which satisfy any value of x and y which satisfy equation 1 will also satisfy equation 2. If we are getting equal, left hand and right hand, if we are getting equal, then that will be a true statement, and such pair of equations will have infinitely many solutions, because every value of x and y of equation 1 will satisfy equation 2 also. And case 3 is, if I take this case, x plus y equal to 14 and 2x plus 2y equal to 7. Again from first equation I'll take x in terms of y and then put that value of x in equation 2. Mark this equation as 3, which is written in terms of y. So put this value of x in equation 2. When we put this value of x into 2 into 14 minus y plus 2y equal to 7, I get 28 minus 2y plus 2y equal to 7. Both cancelled, we are left with 28 and 7. So this is a false statement. Left hand and right hand are not equal. It means any value of x and y which satisfy equation 1 will not satisfy equation 2. It means we have no common solution for such equations. So pair of equations have no common solution. So these are the three cases which we can deal with. And moreover, from here also you can observe that here the ratio of a1 upon a2 and b1 upon b2 is not equal. It is 1 upon 1 and it is 1 upon minus 1. So a1 upon a2 is not equal to b1 upon b2. It means it will give us a unique solution. That's why we are getting x and y as one answer. We are getting the value of x and y as a unique solution. Here in second case you can see a1 upon a2 is 1 by 2, b1 upon b2 is 1 by 2, and c1 upon c2 is also 1 by 2. So a1 upon a2 is equal to b1 upon b2 is equal to c1 upon c2. It means such pair of equations will give us infinitely many solutions. So you can see we get infinitely many solutions also. And here you can see a1 upon a2 is equal to b1 upon b2, but not equal to c1 upon c2. This is 2 by 1. So such equations will give us no solution. So that's why it's coming no common solution. But yes, by if you do it by substitution method and you are getting such things like left hand and right hand sides are coming not equal and no variable is left, then you will write this is a false statement, and if they are coming equal, you will write it is a true statement. Such pair of equations will have infinitely many solutions, and where it is not equal, not it is a false statement, such equations will have no common solution. Now we'll do exercise 3.3, question number 1, first part, x plus y equal to 14, x minus y equal to 4. This I have already taken as example. So what the first example I have taken was exercise 3.3, question 1 only. So you can see x and y we get x9 and y5. This was the first part of exercise 3.3. Question 1 second part is s minus t equal to 3 and s upon 3 plus t upon 2 is equal to 6. Now mark this as first equation, this as second equation. Now from first equation I am writing s in terms of t and putting that value of s in equation 2. So when I put this value of s, t plus 3 in equation 2, I get t plus 3 by 3 plus t by 2 equal to 6. Now I'll take LCM of left hand side, 6. 2 into t plus 3 plus 3t is equal to 6. Now this 6 will be cross multiplied. It goes in the right side and it will be multiplied with 6. It gives 36. 2t plus 3t is 5t, and this 6 will be transposed. It gives 5t equal to 30. So t is 6. Now put this value of t6 in third equation here. So we get s 6 plus 3, s is 9. So this is the answer. S is 9 and t is 6. So you can see here also a1 upon a2 will not be equal to b1 upon b2. The ratios are not equal. That's why it's coming s9 and t6. One unique solution is coming. In third part you can see 3x minus y equal to 3 and 9x minus 3y equal to 9. So mark first equation and second equation. So you can see from first equation I am writing y in terms of x. Now see, y is negative. If I take it to right side it becomes plus, and 3 I am transposing to left. It becomes 3x minus 3 and equal to y. So I get y equal to 3x minus 3. So from equation 1 I am writing y in terms of x and then putting that value of y in equation 2. Right? So it becomes 9x minus 3 into 3x minus 3 equal to 9. So on opening the bracket I see 9x and 9x cancelled. I get 9 equal to 9. Now you can see right hand and left hand side are equal. It means this is a true statement. And what happens in true statements? Given pair of equations will have infinitely many solutions. Right? So coming to fourth part, it is in decimal. Now what is the use of algebraic method? Why we use algebraic method? Algebraic method is used mainly for decimal number, where we get equations in decimal form or in irrational form. So there only graphical methods are little bit tedious to solve. We cannot get solutions accurately. So in that case we can use algebraic method for finding out the solution. Now see, here in fourth part we have decimal numbers. So one thing you can do is you can make it into simple equations, like 0.2 is written as 2 by 10, 0.3 is written as 3 by 10, and 1.3 is written as 13 by 10. Taking LCM of left hand side I get 2x plus 3y upon 10. Now on cross multiplying, this 10 will go to the right side and it will cancel out. So you can see we get the first equation which was in decimal. Now this equation is 2x plus 3y equal to 13. And this happened because every number, here the coefficient of x, y and this constant term are up to one decimal place. So if we remove the decimals, all will give us denominator 10. So we can write it 2x plus 3y equal to 13. Similarly for this equation you can see all are having one decimal place. So this becomes, on solving, 4x plus 5y equal to 23. Now we get the two equations. Now choose any one equation, write one variable in terms of other from any of the equation and put that value of x or y in other equation. You get the solution for x and y. So this was fourth part. Coming to fifth part, this is now irrational. Root 2x plus root 3y equal to 0, root 3x minus root 8y equal to 0. Mark it 1 and this has two equation. Now from 1 I am taking x in terms of y. So when I transpose this to right side, it becomes minus root 3y, and this root 2 will be divided. It will come in the denominator. Now put this value of x from 3 in 2. right? So when I put value of x from 3 into, I get root 3 into x minus root 3 by root 2 into y minus root 8y. Root 3 is 3, so it becomes minus 3 upon root 2 into y minus root 8y equal to 0. Now you can see in both the terms y is common, so y will take out, it becomes minus 3 by root 2 minus root 8 upon 1. So we'll take LCM, or you simply do y multiplied by any number equal to 0 is 0 only, right? If I say 2y equal to 0, so what is y? Y is 0. If I take root 2 into y is equal to 0, so y is 0, right? If it is minus 3 by root 2 minus root 8 into y equal to 0, so we can take directly y equal to 0, or if you want to solve it, you can take LCM, but in the end only you will get minus 7 by root 2 into y equal to 0, so again y is 0. Now put y 0 equal to 0 in equation 3, right? So you get minus root 3 upon root 2 into 0, because y is replaced with 0, so x is also 0. X and y both are 0 here. In sixth part, you can see the equation is in this form, in rational number form, fraction form. So we'll take the LCM of left hand side 6, 9x minus 10y equal to minus 2. This 6 will be cross multiplied. So first equation becomes 9x minus 10y equal to minus 12. In the same way, we'll solve for the second equation, LCM 6. 2x plus 3y upon 6 equal to 13 by 6. This 6 will be cross multiplied and it will cancel with the denominator. On the right hand side, we get 2x plus 3y equal to 13 as second equation. Now choose any one equation and write one variable in terms of other and put that variable in the other equation and find for x and y. The other procedure is same as we have discussed earlier. Now coming to question 2, solve 2x plus 3y equal to 11 and 2x minus 4y equal to minus 24, and hence find the value of m for which y is equal to mx plus 3. Now in this question, first take these two equations, mark it 1 and 2. Then I have taken from equation, first we'll solve for x and y, and then we'll put that x and y in this equation to get m. Now I have chosen equation 2. I'll take the value. You can see here in equation 1 and 2, variable of this first term is 2x. So if from equation 2 I take the value of 2x in terms of y, then it will be 2x equal to 4y minus 24. Then now I'm going to put this value of 2x in equation 1, right? I'm not finding out x in terms of y, I'm finding out 2x in terms of y. So because in equation 1 also we have 2x, so directly I am putting 2x equal to 4y minus 24 in equation 1 from 3. So it becomes 4y minus 24 plus 3y equal to 11. So 7y is 35 and y is 5. Now put this value of 5 in equation 3. So 5 4s are 20. 20 minus 24 is equal to 2x. 2x is minus 4, so x is minus 2. Now we get x minus 2 and y 5. Now put this value of x and y in this given equation. Y is equal to mx plus 3, y 5 and x minus 2. After putting, we get 5 is equal to minus 2m plus 3. Now 2m will come to the left side and 5 will go to the right side. It becomes 2m equal to minus 2, m is minus 1. So this was question number 2. And in the next module, we'll discuss about question number 3, the problem sums related to pair of linear equation using substitution method. We'll find the solution using substitution method. Thank you so much.